Good afternoon, everyone. You're all welcome to.
Good afternoon.
You're welcome to our webinar this afternoon, and we are so happy to have all of you here. Please, would indulge you to give us just about 2 to 3 minutes. We'll be back with you. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Once again, we are glad to be with you, and we welcome all of you to our special webinar on this day that we are celebrating all women. I wish to welcome you to have a very fruitful session and enjoy as we go along. We will first of all begin with prayer, and then we do some self-introduction. We pray. Our Heavenly Father, we are grateful to you for the gift of life. We are grateful that we live to see this day, especially a day where the whole world celebrates womanhood. We are thankful you made us women, and we are thankful for the roles that you have assigned to us in our dispensation. Today, as we share ideas and we interact with each other, be with us and let us have a fruitful time. This and other mercies we ask in the name of Jesus, have we prayed, and all say amen. Amen. So once again, we welcome you to KNUST. My name is Bernice Piazza, your moderator for the day. And I'm going to introduce our head of counseling center to give us a few remarks. Today is the day we celebrate all women. It's an International Day of Women. Women are so special. We are glad we are who we are. Though we have our challenges, we enjoy being women. And so today we want to share skills and a few reasons why we must promote ourselves in our mental health. That is the purpose for our meeting. And so I will not belabor the point, but invite the head of the counseling center of KNUST to give a few remarks. She is in the person of Mrs. Victoria Dugaft-Ejay. Shall we welcome our head of counseling center?
Thank you so much, moderator, Mrs. Piazza. And good afternoon to everyone. Great ladies out there, women are being celebrated today all over the world. And for us at KNUST, we have decided that we'll celebrate it with you. And so welcome to the program. As the moderator said, it is a day that we as women, we celebrate ourselves and also share with ourselves what we stand for and what we can do. And it is very important that we accept the critical and important role we play everywhere we find ourselves all over the world. And so today, with the Counseling Center, KNUST, and Western together, we want to celebrate every woman and to say, are equal to all of us. I know you are responding. Yeah. Yes. So we have great women here to share their experiences, their thoughts with us, so that we can break the bias and we can move on to continue to support ourselves, support the men, and support the whole world. That is who we are. We are multitasking and we can do a lot of things. And that is why today we have chosen to do that with you and to share in the celebration with you. So let's keep tight and also invite other people, tell other people that we have started so that they will all join. We are going to look at mental health of women and how we can project that and keep ourselves stable mentally to achieve what we are made to achieve. And so I'll hand you over to the moderator to take us on. You are welcome once again, and I'm happy to see you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Auntie Vic. Auntie Vic is a counseling psychologist, a very renowned one. And we are happy to have had the remarks. Kindly mute your mics for us so that we do not have feedback. Thank you very much. I would move on to excite you by saying that today our speakers are highly sought after personalities with diverse backgrounds. Myself, I'm a counseling psychologist, and the next person I'm going to, the first person I'm actually going to introduce to you is a clinical psychologist. I have just an abridged bio of her. What I'm going to read about her is just a bit of who she actually is. It goes for all the three speakers for a day. So what I'll do is I will introduce all of them at a go, and then they will give their submissions in succession. Afterwards, we have a very good time of question and answer time. So first of all, I want to introduce to you our first speaker. She is by name Ms. Epiafia, a seasoned licensed clinical psychologist and head of training, outreach, and internships at the Counseling Center of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. She holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology and Master of Philosophy in Clinical Psychology from the University of Ghana. Ms. Adai has close to 15 years experience in providing psychological services for clients of various backgrounds. She is particularly interested in trauma and grief therapy and palliative care for the terminally ill and their families. Her expertise is also in addiction, that is substance or drug, pornography, and gambling, and working with young people in self-esteem building. Ms. Equia has worked with and provided consultancy services for both local and international organizations, such as Girls Education Initiative, Electricity Company of Ghana, and Ghana Statistical Service. Ms. Ade is a member of both international and local professional bodies, such as the APA, DPC, DPA, and Mental Health Advocacy Group. She's also registered with the Ghana Psychology Council. So, Ms. Equia, you are warmly welcome. Our next speaker is a renowned professor with a background in academia. She's Mrs. Olivia, Professor Mrs. Olivia Agwenyagan. I hope I mentioned your name well. An associate professor in the Department of Agroforestry, Faculty of Renewable Natural Resources, KNUST. She's also a seasoned leadership coach and skilled helper, offering counseling support to a range of national and international clients in academia and industry. During her interaction with clients, she ensures that they establish focus, discover possibilities, and plan actions to achieve set goals. She believes it is important to help professionals discover their own unique path towards high academic achievements. If I say I'm going to read the rest, we'll never finish. So this is an abridged bio of Professor Olivia. Our next speaker, who will be the third one, is a renowned administrator. And you will love listening to her. She's a woman advocacy for a lot of groups. She's in the person of Mrs. Juliana Sewa Andrew, a deputy registrar at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. She has over 16 years of experience in university administration and management. She has served as assistant and senior assistant registrar positions in many parts of the university, including the College of Science, School of Medical Sciences, General Administration, the School of Business Affiliations Office, under the Academic Affairs Division of the university, and even as a liaison between Penn University and its 112 affiliate institutions, 36 private university colleges, and 76 health training institutions across the country. Wow. Currently, she is the college registrar for the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources. In all, she has been in 4 out of the 6 colleges in the university, namely College of Science, College of Health Sciences, College of Humanities and Social Sciences, and now College of Agriculture and Renewable Natural Resources. She has served as a secretary to several committees, both within and outside of the university. And so as she comes your way today, she has a plethora of experiences, and she's going to serve you as she shares with you her experiences and then how she manages her busy life with promoting mental health of herself and other people around her. So my honorable audience, today sit tight, and I want first of all to begin with Ms. Equia FEA, the clinical psychologist, to share her experiences with you all. Thank you. Ms. Equia, you're welcome. Audience, your speaker. Thank you.
Yes, please. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this special day. We are here to celebrate women, and not only women celebrating themselves, but we know our men are supporting us. And as women, we know that our mental health is very, very, very important. And that is why today we are going to look at the mental health of women in academia. What we have tried to do is to remove every jargon and speak in plain language, because we realize that people from not only in academia, but other organizations also have decided to join us. Just give us a moment. Okay. All right, so our topic is mental health of women in academia. And whilst I was preparing this, in my head, I was saying, what are we going to do? And I came to the awareness that, why don't we just create awareness about mental health issues? Because even as women in academia, we are expecting that we know a lot, but it surprised us to know that a lot of us still need awareness about mental health, and also demystify and destigmatize, if there's any word like that, mental health problems. And today, if we do not learn anything at all, I want us to look at what you call the mental health continuum. And then finally, we'd like to encourage all of us, to learn new strategies to improve our mental health and also to seek help. So like I said, this is what we'll be looking at, our mental health and mental illness. And those are put in red, the mental health continuum, gender and mental health of women. We'll narrow down to those of us in academia. And we look at some personal coping skills that we can adopt. All right. Okay. So mental health, we say, includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. As you can see, I have underlined well-being. That's what we are interested in. It affects how we think, how we feel, how we act. But it also helps to determine how we handle stresses and relate to others and make healthy choices as people. I also want us to take a look at what mental illness. And let me before I continue, let me put out this disclaimer. When I say female, please, I mean the traditional concept of male and female. The others are not included. So kindly indulge me for this presentation. And also I'll be using the terms psychological illness, mental illness, psychological disorder, mental disorders interchangeably. And so when you look at mental disorders or psychological disorders, you're looking at conditions that affect how we think, how we feel, and our behavior. So these are the three markets. Now, so the WHO put out, looking at all this, it says that mental health is a state of well-being where an individual realizes his or her own abilities. So your God-given potentials. You can cope with normal stresses of life, which we all get thrown out to certain things. How we manage them is very important. We can work productively. The person is able to make contribution to his or her community. A psychologically healthy person has a healthy mind and is able to think clearly, able to achieve the above that we listed, as well as solve problems in life. Enjoy good relationships with people, very important. Good relationship with people. Feel spiritually at ease. As Ghanaians and as Africans, this part is very, very important to us. Sometimes religion or our spirituality play a lot or a bigger role in our mental health. And mental health is much more than the absence of an illness. All right. So I'm continuing looking at the overview. Sometimes people, get confused, and when people talk about mental illness, we start thinking about conditions we call schizophrenia, what in our language or local or everyday parlance we call madness. But whatever it is, that is just a little part of what we do. But whatever it is, for a mental health professional to diagnose somebody with a mental health problem, we are looking at these markers. Interfere with the individual's normal functioning. So your functioning is affected. Your social function. So, for example, you in your family, the way you are relating with your husband and wife, your church members, your friends, people notice that there is a problem, that things are not the same. Occupational functioning is affected. So your work, you realize that I'm not as productive as I used to be. If you are an administrator, do you have a backlog? You know that this is not me, but whatever is happening, I have a backlog of reports to write, or I have papers to write, or I have things to do, and I'm unable to do them. In the house, my chores in the house, I find that I'm not able to do them as I usually do. And also, it interferes with your academic work. For example, kindly mute your mics and your videos.
I'm in a meeting, so I'm coming. Zoom meeting, yes. Also,
all right. So when we talk about mental health disorders, there are many of them. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. We are not going to go into details. But today, there's something I want us to learn. I mentioned the fact that even if you don't take anything from here, what you call the mental health continuum. The mental health continuum model sees mental health and mental disorders as in a continuum, as in a spectrum, and that individuals can be at any point in the continuum at any time. It doesn't matter who you are, you can be any point at any time. From healthy, reacting, injured to the last one, which others call crisis. There are different words for them. We are going to look at them. Or some say from healthy to I am surviving, to I am thriving, to whatever we call a crisis. There are different things people say about this one. So what we are going to do, I want us to take a look at what is happening on each axis. And it starts from green to yellow to orange to the last one, which is illness. And see yourself where you are at any time. Anybody can be there. The most important thing is that as a people, we have to monitor ourselves and monitor our colleagues. I'm not saying that develop a hawk eye and see where are you. But then let's look at it and see. When I looking at what has been going on in my life, I think I'm here, I think I'm here, I think I'm here. If you look at the arrow, you realize that if you look at the arrow, you realize that it is bi-directional. So what it means is that at any particular time, you can move from here to here. So let's look at the healthy column. Here, let's say that the individual, there's normal mood in fluctuation, everything is calm, the person is fine, performing well, you're sleeping well, everything is okay. You take everything in good stride, you know. Now, however, as human beings, things can happen to us. Maybe I may have a conflict with my husband or my wife, or even at work, I can have something. And then I can move. And I begin to see some of these symptoms. When I see that at this level, it means that I have crossed the line from healthy. But what is happening is that I can function. Even though you see this person with these symptoms, you can see that the person can still do his or her work well. However, in the third column, the person experiences these symptoms that have been noted. But what you see is that the person's functioning begin to be affected. There's a significant impairment. And in the last one, which we call illness, some say crisis, you can have different words for it. At that time, the symptoms become very severe. And you see that the person is unable to function at all. So when some people are describing the mental health continuum, another word they use is normal, mild, moderate, and severe. Now, when you are in, let's say, the healthy or you cross to reacting, at that time, when you meet people, you can get supportive people, do a lot of self-help, things to be able to maintain your mental health. However, when you cross to the injured, and especially the part that has to do with illness, here we are diagnosing illness. At that time, professional help is very, very important. And so when you notice that, your anger level, things are going, not as expected. And not only that, it's interfering with your life. Please, let's seek help because there's help available. So now you take mental health and mental health problems or mental illness. The mental well-being or mental health is the big umbrella. Then people can have having problems like, from reaction through to the injured, people can have problems. So that's the mental health problem. Then the mental health disorders, where people have many, and then we can narrow it down to one single mental disorders. Now let's look at a little bit of mental disorders itself. It affects everybody, male, females, everybody. And about one fifth of adults experience a mental disorder at some stage in their life. And depression is among the top global burden of diseases. In fact, the WHO says that depression costs the global economy about $1 trillion every year. Because when people are depressed, they can't work, and so that's what we see. And there's a relationship between mental and physical health. Those in the health fraternity, you realize that when you go to the hospital, every department that you go, you are going to see mental or psychological issues there. Because when you go to surgery, somebody's leg has been cut. His mood has changed. It has affected the way he even thinks about him or himself. If somebody is diagnosed with cancer or anything, there's a change. So there's something we call liaison psychiatry, liaison psychology. When you go to the hospital, every department, there are psychological issues there. Mental health can make your conditions worse if you have, or when you're in good mental health state, it can even moderate your physical illness. For example, hypertension. If you are not in a good state of mental health, you know what can happen. All right. Now, mental health disorders, psychological disorders can be grouped physical, emotional, behavioral, and of course, what you call the psychotic symptoms, or what you call perception and belief. I want us to look at these symptoms. I'm not going to belabor the point, but I want to stress on the first one, the physical one. Why am I interested in that one? You see, especially we have realized in this part of the world, people do what you call somatization. Our psychological problems or challenges usually get translated into physical condition. So that the person has aches and pains, the person is not sleeping, the person is feeling tired all the time, burning sensation all over. And so the person will not, if I'm experiencing this thing, I'm gaining weight, I'm losing weight, I'm not sleeping, I'm having ulcers all over, I'm having a lot of headaches. Will the person go and see a psychologist? No. You see, understanding of mental health is, I'll use the word in quotes, madness. And because of that, for me, and after years of working, I have realized that it helps when people somatize, it helps them to, let's say, avoid the tag, what? Crazy or mad. And so these are what you see. So the person will jump from hospital, go to doctor after doctor, go to doctor after doctor, until they say, no, go and see your psychologist or psychiatrist or your counselor. And then that is when you begin to see that the underlying issue that is appearing as physical condition is actually psychological one. And so all the other, the emotional one, the thought pattern, the worry, the suicidal ideation, they are all there. But I wanted to emphasize the physical condition so that we take notes that it is not only extreme condition like delusions or hallucinations that are symptoms of mental illnesses. All right, so these are few mental illnesses that we've all heard about. We've heard about anxieties, we have about depression, schizophrenia, eating disorders, bipolar. And as I said, there are hundreds of them. These are just a few. Now, let's look at sex or gender differences in mental disorders. What we have seen is that there are some things there are some disorders we call internalizing. Those are towards the self, they are inward, as opposed to the externalizing one. We realize that depression, anxiety, for example, is twice as in females as in males. Eating disorders are in what we call in females more. And suicidal attempts. Look at the male side. Let's go to the suicide. If you look at women attempt more. Women try to attempt more. But the men complete, because when the man tries to do, a lot of the time they use more lethal means, so they die more. But women attempt a lot of suicide. Then the males, the externalizing behavior towards external, outside, substance, that's what, let's say, drug use and things like that. attention deficit hyperactivity disorders, antisocial personality disorder, antisocial where they disregard every rules, they do not take others into consideration. They are very aggressive and all the time. You see all those in males. There are also some disorders that are specific to females. One we call premenstrual dysphoric disorder. I'm sure a lot of us have heard premenstrual syndrome. This one is the serious type. And if you notice well, since is menstrual, is females who menstruate. So it's specific to females. And then for our mothers, perinatal and postpartum depression, issues surrounding pregnancy and childbirth, you realize that people have, people get depressed around that time. And of course, perimenopause and other related depression. You see that a lot. And so these specific disorders tells you that indeed there are some things that are germane to women as opposed to men. When it comes to what are the factors for mental health problems, there are biological factors. Generally, there are biological factors. We see that it runs through family, brain activities, that's activities of what we call neurotransmitters and an endocrine system. We are not going to go into that. There are psychological factors. At later stage, we'll go a little bit into that. And of course, the social aspects, such as, our support system, stresses in life, especially for women. We look at some of them. Now, so let's look at women. What makes it, why do women, for example, are diagnosed with twice as, as being depressed than men? Of course, hormones. If you look at this disorders we talked about, they are hormone related. So fluctuation in hormones can cause that. Then gender-based violence. In fact, you realize that if you look at a lot of people with diagnosable psychological condition, a lot of the time when they are telling you their stories, a lot of them have had issues of childhood sexual abuse. So this is very important. Domestic violence, and we know that women suffer a lot of domestic violence. Marital conflicts. They said that one of the things they have seen is that women are more, susceptible to interpersonal stresses. So conflict at home, the fight we are having, all those problem with our children, with our significant others that we go through. We all know that. And of course, discrimination and inequalities. And socialization. One of the questions we have to answer is that, of course, women, we are socialized to seek help more as, compared to men. And so when a woman is distressed, you can really see it. Another thing we have also seen is that women present with a lot of self-esteem issues, body shame, rumination. What usually called the person will be thinking over the same thing over and over and over. What do you say? So, the same thing. You find that a lot of women present with that. Now let's come to academia. Because we said this is about academia, let us talk briefly about this. I saw an article that described academia as one of the greedy organizations. And I was like, wow, that it takes advantage of, I've forgotten the exact quote, but to paraphrase, it is like, take advantage of the expertise of the people. I'll get that quote and then bring it to our viewers. But mental health challenges like stress, burnout, have been found to be predominant in fact, one study found that the ratio of mental health problem in academia is 3 to 4 times. It's higher than the general population. This is an old study, but then when I saw it, I was taken aback. I said, wow, we are expecting that because we are in academia, we are supposed to be able to mature things out, go through our challenges. Nobody's to see what we are going through. But we all can testify that there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of stress in academia. And for women, we see that a lot of early and middle career women, they report high level of stress, and that usually affects their productivity. Now, let's look at why mental health problems are so high in academia. Workload, I think we all agree. Let's look at our timetable. Workload and evaluation. We are all trying to publish. We are trying to write. We are trying to meet our deadlines, write position papers. We are trying as much as possible to do a lot of service so that we can get promoted, so that we can get funding, so that elsewhere get tenure, and this puts a lot of pressure on us. We keep quiet a lot, especially the service part. KNUST, a lot of service part, there's a lot of pressure. We have to be evaluated by others, funders, students, and peers, and cramped academic calendar. We all realize that when our new calendar came out, we all saw it. And I remember when the strike started. To be frank, I wasn't happy because I had missed my leave. And I was hoping that it would go fast so that I take my rest. Oh no, I didn't happen. But thank God that things have been resolved. When we come to women in academia, one of the things we even complain about, and I know that our other speakers will talk about it, balance, the family care. And our women complain that some people feel like because they feel that they are not caring for their families as they should be. Sometimes they are not getting supportive partners. The organization or the environment is also not supportive enough, and they feel really, really, really undervalued. And so it puts a lot of pressure on them. Now, so after talking about all these things, for us psychologists, what we do know is that at the personal level or at the individual level, there are things that affect our mental health. And I want us to look at this very well. Our thought patterns are very, very important. We know that usually, for example, if it is about, let's say, our promotion, and I don't get promoted, usually it is the fact that something happened, but it is what we think about it, our interpretation of that situation. So, for example, if I had an argument with a partner and we fought, it is not a fight, but it is what I interpret about that fight. So, for example, if in my head, my husband or my partner doesn't value me, it affects how I feel. So the fight means for me, he doesn't value me. Then how would I feel? Would I feel happy? No, I'll feel perhaps upset. And then how I feel will affect how I behave. So, for example, if I'm even cooking wahala for me, so it's all about our thought processes affecting our emotions and our behavior. And if you look at the diagram, it's bi-directional. Your thoughts affect how you feel, your emotion affects how you think, and your emotions affect your behavior affects how you feel, and it goes that way. So for the mental health professionals, what we try to do as much as possible is to work on people's thought patterns. And when we work on people's thought patterns, we are able to be able to improve their mental health. So these are some of the things we do. We do cognitive restructuring. Whatever we do, our thoughts, we try to change the way we think. There are ways to go about it. If you come, we'll help you to do that. Sometimes when you have negative thoughts going through your mind, please take a step, and then I do pinch myself. Then I speak to that for stop. When you do that, it gives you a breathing space. Then there are things you can do to replace that negative things. You do relaxation exercise, breathing. And when you are anxious, just take a moment. When you are panting, you are anxious, you are angry, take a few minutes, breathe, calm your nerves down, and then you see what happens. It helps. These are some things we can do. You remember our mental health continuum. For example, if we are reacting, self-care, what you call self-help things can help you. Good sleep, we know all this already. Exercise is a good regimen for improving mental health. So we are pleased that KNUST Wellness has brought this aerobics. Let's all join. As much as possible, let's join. Schedule me time. I know that our speakers will talk more about it, so I will not belabor the point. But I want to talk about the leave. Somebody told me that for 10 years, people have not gone on annual leave. I wish we would be compelled to go. I wish we would be compelled to take leaves, to go. Sometimes in our head, it appears that if we are not there, the work will not go on. But truthfully speaking, that's not it. When you are not there, the work gets done. Let's go on leave. Let's take break. Even if you will not go on a long leave, this long break that we have, do something with it. Self-rewards, and I like making meaningful connections. Please, when you are going through anything, it is not advisable to be by yourself. Being alone doesn't help, because you are going to get a lot of negative thoughts if you are going through anything. See all those symptoms. If you're experiencing them, especially the one that has to do with your thoughts, please be among supportive people. Don't be alone. If you're alone, you are going to get all those negative thoughts that are going to worry you, and they are going to affect how you feel more, and they are going to affect the way you behave, your work, and other aspects of your life are going to suffer. Social media, let's use them appropriately, and as much as possible, let's maintain our routine. Now, finally, I want to say this. If for example, the symptoms that we talked about, if you are experiencing any of them, recognize. So the first thing is watch out for the symptoms. Watch out for the symptoms, and then reverse. What do we mean? Take good care of yourself. If you need to seek support, the counseling center is there. We are there. And then let's build our resilience by taking good care of ourselves. And to conclude, what we are saying so far is that mental health problems, they are common. Everybody at any time can have any of them. We should see mental health and mental illness in a continuum, and that everybody at any point in time can be in that continuum. It doesn't mean you are crazy. And so there's also help available. So talk to us as your counselors. We are completely available for you. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ms. Equia Efiye Ade. And you would agree with me that we have had a lot to learn today. And I will not go into the issues that she's raised, but continue quickly to listen to our second presenter. Remember, our theme is promoting mental well-being of women in academia towards attainment of the SDGs. The SDG 3, good health and well-being, is the foundation for our interaction this afternoon. So we quickly receive our second speaker, and she's in the person of Professor Mrs. Olivia Agoyaga. Shall we receive her with a round of applause from the studio, at least? Madam, you're welcome.
Thank you. So we'll continue where Akusia ended. Sorry, we'll need to share my screen. So you're going to look at climbing the academic ladder with a stable mind. Yes, you're going to look at how to climb the academic ladder with a stable mind. Because we've seen that we all have mental things we have to deal with. There are things we have to deal with. And in the academic field, there are things we have to consider. And so what we are going to look at is the context in which we are going to have this conversation. So when you enter academia, you have 3 requirements. You have to do some teaching, you have to do research, you also have to do what we call service. And this service is related to international, national, and local activities you carry out. And these requirements are non-negotiable. Whether you like it or not, you have to make sure that you have satisfied these requirements. So with everything going on, we do need a stable mind. So we'll find out why we need a stable mind. And then we'll look at 3 things that would ensure us with a stable mind to climb the academic ladder, because that is why we're here. So the 3 key points are teaching, research, which will lead to the publications, and then the service, which is the local, which is within the university, national, within the whole Ghana, international, the whole world. And these are the requirements. So we'll ask ourselves the first question. When we say teaching, what do we mean as an academic? There's so much activity. And for most academics, our key issue now is the large class sizes, especially for undergraduates. And as Akuya said, some of the students come with a number of issues. But as you interact with them and you teach them, you need a very stable mind to ensure that you are creating an excellent atmosphere for teaching them and also ensuring the students to learn. Unfortunately, most students don't know why they come to the university. So it is the lecturer's duty to ensure that they know why they are there. So the teaching is one issue. Another issue we should look at, which is a big thing for most lecturers, is the research, which leads to the publications. There's a saying which says that publish or perish. And everybody knows that. So when you enter the university as an academic, you need a very stable mind to be able to carry out research that will be accepted by peer-reviewed, high-impact factor journals. And these days, even when you send your documents for promotion, they check the journals to make sure that they are high-impact factor. Another point is when you send your publication to a journal and the reviewers bring their comments, if you're not careful, you cry the whole day. The comments can make you lose confidence completely. This morning, a colleague of mine told me that he just received some comments from a journal, and the editor says he should go and learn basic English again. Oh, and the person was so down, and I said, don't worry, that is how all editors behave. So what you need is a very stable mind to accept and revise the paper. If you don't, you are going to perish. Then when it comes to service, it is a requirement. You cannot run away from it. The local one is within the university, and that is normally very easy. The difficult aspect is the national and international. And you need to let people know that you have provided this kind of service. Now they've added the ability to generate funding. It also, initially we used to just the local, national, international. Now you need to show that you can also bring money to the university. So these are requirements. Now, our next question is, how do we make sure we have a stable mind? With all these trying requirements, the first thing with the teaching is that if you don't have a stable mind with teaching, you cannot manage your class. And a lot of lecturers are finding difficulties in managing their classes, especially when you are teaching them and when it comes to marking the assignments. If you mark some essays and you don't have a stable mind, you might even go out and then do something to yourself. So these are situations where you need very stable minds. Let's come to research. That's another big thing there. Without a stable mind, you cannot work in a multidisciplinary team. And these days, the single author papers are not encouraged. You have to work in a research team, come up with a paper, present it. So you need a very harmonious working relationship with your team. And in addition to the research, if you carry out very good research, it can be very financially rewarding. And that can give you a very stable mind. You don't think too much about financial issues. So the research comes with its issues, but on the flip side, you can have a stable mind with that. So our next question is, with the service, let people know about your expertise, because especially with the national international, I have found out that most of my students have recommended me for international assignments and for national international assignments. So in academia, make sure that your students believe in you, they know what you can do, and then they can tell people about it. There's an account proverb. I'll say it in Twi and then I'll translate. In Twi, it says, "Ahnepa enkasa." What it means is that you don't blow your own horn. You don't boast. You don't tell people what I can do. But things have changed now. You have to let people know what you are capable of doing. In academia, if you don't tell people, they wouldn't know. So for example, if you attend a workshop and you're introducing yourself, you mention your name, and then you mention, for example, I'm interested in agriculture, food security, and I've carried out some activities in food security. What it means is that if somebody needs some expertise in that area of national assignment, they'll contact you, or international, they'll contact you. So these days, it's good to let people know what you are capable of doing. So that in that case, you get your service, the national and the international. Because all these, you need marks. And if you don't, if you get the marks for only the local, you will not move up in the academic ladder. So we keep on asking ourselves, how do we ensure a stable mind? One thing is to practice self-awareness. Know yourself, know your thoughts. How do you link your academic and non-academic activities? It is something that you have to do. You have to understand your feelings, your goals, evaluate yourself, everything that will support your progression, put effort into it. Then the things that you create that are constraints, which could create barriers, make sure that you are managing them. And one thing I have tried and have used and is very, very helpful is the MBTI personality test. I've done that test. And when you do that test, it tells you who you are. Yes, you know yourself, but that test tells you your strengths and your weaknesses. And with those strengths, you know how to move you forward. With the weaknesses, you know how to prevent them from not moving forward, and you manage them properly. So for example, when I did the MBTI, I found out that sometimes I don't think through issues before speaking. So I would accept to carry out an activity. Then I realized that I don't have the time to do it. Ever since I realized that that was my weakness, if you ask me to carry out an activity, I take my time. I think through it, check all other commitments before I agree or disagree to carry it out. And this test can be found easily on, if you do a Google search, you find it. There's the paid one and there's the free version. Do it. It will tell you a lot about yourself. It's very important. Oh, okay. I've been told that the council unit, they have it, so you can do it. And I have used it. I found it very useful in managing yourself. And another thing we can do is also you have to practice self-management. When you are thrown into the university as an academic, nobody manages you. Now we have mentors and mentees, and then the activities organized for people who come into the university. In the past, you didn't have that. You're just thrown in and you are left to yourself. You have to motivate yourself to grow and develop and improve yourself. You have to find avenues for growth. If you don't do that, it would affect your mental health, because you think that I'm not moving forward, and that can really help you. Another good thing to do is also, another important thing is self-management. Manage yourself, persevere through, enjoy your work, and maintain a very positive attitude. I find that when you enjoy interacting with the students, see them as people you have the privilege to share knowledge with and share experiences with. So it's very important to do that. Another key thing is, I'm going in the wrong direction. Okay. Another key thing is relationship skills. Whether we like it or not, we are in relationship with our colleagues, senior staff, junior staff, and students. And it is important to have professional relationships, which are very rewarding. I can say from experience that I have related with students who have said a lot about me, and I've got so many opportunities through that. And with colleagues, when you work with them, someone will say, I need somebody who needs someone to kind of activity. They'll mention your name. So that is very important. And it all helps you to climb the academic ladder. And another thing is communicating. I have found that most people do not listen when people are speaking. Yes, we listen, but not actively. Always try and practice active listening. You don't make assumptions. You don't put too many things into your head. And that helps you to have a very stable mind. And finally, as human beings, we cannot live without conflicts. Conflicts are part of the whole picture. But it's important to know how to negotiate and make sure that your conflicts are managed very constructively. And there's one thing that I always say, it is always okay to ask for help when you need it. Asking for help doesn't mean that you are weak. In academia, as Apia said, the women go through a lot of stress. And unfortunately, the men form their own groups, and the women, there are few of us, and we are left out. So it becomes very difficult working through the three main requirements to move up the ladder. So you have to really make sure that if you need support, ask for it. I would present another Akan proverb. It says that, the proverb says, I'll say it in Twi first. If you keep things to yourself, you will die. So it's important to let people know what is going on. If you are facing challenges, speak to people. There's nothing wrong with that. And fortunately for KNUST, we have the counseling unit. They are very confidential. They'll give you the guidance you need and make sure that you are moving forward in the academic calendar. And finally, I'll say that we want to attain the SDGs. We want to stop the bias. For us, good health is key for every woman. Good health for mentally, physically, every aspect of us. And women, once we get into the world, we educate people. Even if it's not in academia, we are always educating. And partnerships are very important for us. It helps us to move in the academic calendar. And finally, I'll say, let's continue to support each other. It's very important. Let's share and let's keep on smiling. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Amazing. Thanks so much, Aunt Olivia. I'm sure you've enjoyed the submission and we've learned so much. I see a lot of questions coming up. Keep them coming. We would address them very soon. We'll quickly move to listen to our auntie say, well, my namesake. Very dynamic, and we would love listening to her. She's going to give us the point of view from the administrator's side. You know, we've had a counseling submission. We have had that from academia, the lecturer. Now we're going to listen to the administrator. What do we go through? And how do we survive? How do we keep our mental health improving? Let's listen to Auntie Sarah. Auntie Sarah, you're welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, viewers. As you listened from the first two speakers, my topic is balancing the home and career for mental well-being, the experience of an administrator. And the outline of my presentation is who is today's woman in academia, navigating the roles. And since it's experience sharing my career, how far I've come, the balance of mental well-being, how to maintain mental well-being, and finally conclusion. I think that as administrators, as female administrators, we are all family members. And we are all caregivers, we are all professionals. And family members because whether you are married or not, you still belong to a family and it has its own challenges or responsibilities. We are all caregivers,
whether you were a mother or not, we give care, one care or the other. And of course, being in academia, we are certainly professionals. All these have its own expectations and also have competing attention, because it's the same time. It's the same time that we are dividing among these roles 24/7. To play your role as a family member, as a caregiver, and also ultimately as a professional. And the expectations, we have several expectations at personal level, at the family level, and at the career level. At the career level, since that is what the focus is, following up from my colleague academic, for us administrators, you all know, we have 4 instead of 3. And the 4 are ability in work, promotion of knowledge, human relations, and service. And you will bear with me that we are the focal, more or less the front line. I mean, people come to the offices, you see the secretariat, the next person you see is the registrar or the administrator. And you have to be in the right framework. Even if you are not happy, you have to pretend to be so that you can serve people well, because you are the first person everybody comes to. And so you just don't have the option not to receive people well and provide their needs. As I said earlier, and to be able to navigate through these roles. So my career, navigating through these roles, for me, it's a daunting one. I mean, these 4, and you have to satisfy these 4 criteria for promotion, and also to perform your duties at home and as a family person. All requires that you really manage your time very, very, very well. And as the 2 speakers have already mentioned, you need support. And the support at all these levels. At the family level, you need support. Certainly, there are certain roles that you cannot, I mean, you can't do it all and still be effective and efficient with your work. So certainly you need to seek help. And the help for me depends on the individual. Situations are different, but certainly some of the roles we play at home. And you bear with me that now you can outsource, if I should say it that way. I have had to do bulk cooking. So I cook bulk, and then so it takes a little time to add, whether I should say the carbohydrates, rice or yam or whatever. It doesn't take too much time to do that. Sometimes you also engage people to have help in the cleaning and some of the house chores. But there's this one, 2 things. There are 2 things nobody does for me, because it doesn't matter how good you are, I still don't get satisfied, and that is shopping. I'll always go and shop because I want it in a manner. And then cooking, it's one of my hobbies. I know I cook well, so it's difficult to satisfy me if somebody cooks for me. So these 2 things, I don't seek help. I try to do my own shopping, and I also try to do my own cooking. And then maybe washing, but the washing to some extent is not everything that I give to another person to do. So at the home, that is how I have managed. At the workplace, anybody who has worked with me, I didn't notice it when I was doing it. I thought it was the me thing, I have had to train the middle level. And those who are listening to me, colleague administrators, and let me share this. And throughout my going around, as she said in my introduction, I've gone round and round and round, and have worked with older subordinates. All the people that administrative assistants have worked with, and coincidentally happen to be older than me. And I have tapped into their
wealth of knowledge and understanding and experience. And institutional memory, of course, it has its other side. And sometimes they may have had to say, you know, I have had to manage them and tap into their wealth of knowledge and experience. And I tell you, it's my magic. When you involve them, a little training to let them know that this is how you want your work, they support amazingly. So I had to train the middle level, the administrative assistants. And when they understand and they get to know how you want your work, they come in as a very good support system. So that is how I have managed in the office. Career, if you have written a lot, maybe it's childhood because I used to learn deep into the night. I remember Africa Hall, doing planning and doing 7 courses in addition to workshop. You definitely didn't have time, but to learn into the night, late in the night or very early in the morning, early hours of the day. So I'm used to that. So usually I scribble my memos. Usually I write from my head before I'll just go to the internet and read for introduction or conclusion. But many of my memos is just from my head. I just get the idea and I scribble. I wake up in the middle of the night and just scribble, do the drafts. And then we'll come to the office, give it to the secretariat or the administrative assistant to type, and go home and do the editing and start giving to people to read through. One skill that has helped me, and also I learned it early in my life. Planning, we used to do vacation training. Now I think it's across the board. In our time, it was not too compulsory. I think it depends on the program you were offering. And that will determine whether you have vacation training or not. But I had the opportunity to work with Center for Women, Center for something, yeah. And you know, NGO at that time, the mid-90s, they had a lot of computers. So the office, gender and development office where I work, we had computer. Nobody taught me because they'll go to the field, people are busy, right, typing their reports. Nobody had time for me. So since first year, I was exposed to computers and I learned it. So that's helped. Once my memo or my position paper is typed, I do the editing, you know, when I go home with my laptop and give it to people to read. And that's really has helped me. I have also leveraged on my talent and skills and experiences as I move around. And honestly, with the memos that I've written, if you go through wherever I've been to, I made it a point to write a paper on all the shadows that I've handled. Setting my own standards. It's good to have role models, have mentors, you know, learn the best practices and all that. But I set my own standards. I am my own competitor. and I think that has really helped me. I set goals. Every year, maybe I'll write 3 memos or position papers. And I try to keep to that. I do the draft and give to people to polish it up by 3 months. My 1 memo should be ready. So I've set my own standards. It's not easy to keep to them, but at least over the years, I've tried to keep to those standards. Creative and innovative. You bear with me as administrators. I always say that our work is too similar. Of course, as you move around, like I have moved many times, you see internal peculiarities, internally. But basically, the administrative role, the advisory, the secretarial, and the managerial, it's the main functions that we all play. So how do you, and if you're not careful, monotony, it will set in. It gets to a point that you think it's too routine. I have had to, make conscious effort to make sure that you are creative. and innovative in order to stay active throughout the period. Otherwise, it's too mundane. And if you are not careful, it becomes business as usual. And that will affect your progression. So that's how I've managed to stay active all the time. And I also say that anybody who has worked with me, I say this, how do you do the same, seemingly the same thing differently? And that is how I get the administrators that been assistants involved and tell them, yes, it's true that say na, but should we do it? At least if we can buy it a little, so it becomes exciting for us, and that gives us energy, that picks up our morale to move on all the time. I must say good mentorship. I've been lucky. I've had good mentorship. I always say this, that from day one in 2005, I was told every day counts, and that worked the magic. Every day has indeed counted as far as my career is concerned. And so I know that how do you blend this demanding schedule and then home. So knowing that every day counts, I always make sure that you don't, I mean, if you have to work, you have to work. And even at home, you realize that I'm always active, trying to make sure that I don't pile up the house chores or the home duties. And so my daughter will tell me, do you have time to rest at all? So because every day counts. If it's 5 years for you to be promoted to the next level, if you relax, the time will come and you are not ready. And productive engagements, I mean, people know how interactive I am, the outgoing type, but I just don't talk. I just don't engage. I say that at any point in time, there's somebody out there who knows something that you don't know. And so as you engage people productively, you realize that they shape your thoughts, your ideas, and your aspirations. So I've been lucky. I've had that opportunity to engage with many more people across the university. Maybe it's because I've been to so many places and I build relationship on the job. So that's human relations thing. I go to all the places I've been to and it's always joy. It's like coming back home. So that's how I've engaged productively in all the places. And I think it's a good thing. That's our edge all of us to do. And then making good of opportunities. Making good of opportunities, I always explain it this way, that this saying, that opportunity comes but once. I personally don't think it really comes once. It does come another day and another time. But with different conditions, the terms and conditions might have changed. That age might not be on your side. Time, I mean, depending on your home condition, the children, the family may not support you to, make good of the opportunity. And what again, even your health. So there are so many factors that go into making good of an opportunity or not. So as a lady in academia, I've always, having in mind every day counts, I've always planned in a manner that anytime opportunity comes, I'll be able to make good of it. And I think that has been throughout my career in home. I think there was one more point before the slide that I want to reading. Yes, reading. Much as I am outgoing, and then I am that sociable on weekends. I'm also very indoor, maybe because living on campus, we're limited. I mean, we have some few friends until the year loads. Growing up, I have some few friends, though nice to everybody, but I can be home the whole day. So if I'm home after doing the house chores, I always have books that I'm reading. And it's part of the standards I've set for myself. This I learned from Ebo White. I listen to Ebo White a lot. So, and I watch his plays a lot. Anytime I'm in Accra and I'll go. So I learned it from him. And I have books. That one too is a book per quarter. So every time there's a book I'm reading, I've read a lot about motivational books. I'm reading a lot about administration and management. And I was lucky when it comes to the job directly. I did my SIMBA, I did trends in higher education. And it's so exciting. The trends, you start reading them and you get engrossed. There's so much happening in the higher education landscape that we need to read and get abreast with them, because it is what we do every day. And as if it was magic, when the deputy promotion, the external examiner, many of his questions on these trends, and because it was my thesis topic for SIMBA, it went well. It just went well. So I've read a lot about trends in higher education and what is going on, a lot in management, and I'm reading and I'm still reading. I read a lot. In the office, I don't go out. I don't usually go out for lunch, and you come and see me reading on the net, what's trending. I'm always reading. So I will encourage all of us to read and read and read. The wealth of knowledge in books is amazing. And I mean, for you to be on top of your job, for you to blend all these all important roles, family member, career, mother, whatever, you still need to read around so that you get the right information to help you do all these roles as it is expected of us. The navigating the balance of mental well-being. In all of this, as I've said, being an administrator, you are the frontliner. And whether you are happy or not, you have to be very good, mental well-being. And I always tell my staff that as women, one problem with us is carrying our personal issues to the workplace. I always say that we all have issues. As for the issues, nobody can say that he or she doesn't have, or as women we don't have. But our issues should not affect the work we do. And that is why for me this topic is so critical. How do we ensure that balance all these roles with our mental well-being? And for me, it's the game changer. It's a game changer because we can have our headaches, our stomach aches, the high blood pressures, the diabetes, and still manage to do our work if we don't tell anybody. But when the mind has a problem, honestly, there's little you can do. So for me, it's the game changer. It's the game changer for a healthy life. If the mind is not, I mean, we all know it affects everything. Whereas the headaches and the other things you can manage and still keep your job. A happy home, as women, already if all is well and we are not there, you see how the home is like. We are the light of the home. You know, we are the beacon of the home. If you are not there, it's not the same. Once you come, hey, there's joy, there's life. So can you imagine not being in a good mental condition? Certainly, you cannot have a happy home. And then a productive and successful career, as I've said, to be able to do all the roles, I mean, satisfy your 4 areas of for promotion, certainly you really need to. And as administrators, you know, apart from the office work, you're also servicing your own committees. And the committees come with their own demands. I mean, writing reports, minutes, if you are serving on an investigative committee where you have to meet every day. Every day you have to do your minutes for the next day. And it's so challenging. So you can never be productive and let alone have a successful career if your mental health is not the way it's supposed to be. So for me, it's the game changer. And my next slide proposes how we can make sure we maintain mental well-being. And say that we need to diet the mind. And this was a WhatsApp. I don't know whether any of you we saw it. It was a WhatsApp a year or two ago. One of the forwards saying, diet the mind. As women and as ladies, we do all manner of things to stay in shape. We will diet, we will do exercises, sometimes we even take pills and the rest, only to stay in shape. But how much do we do to maintain our mental well-being? For me, we need to diet our minds so that we improve on our mental well-being. We also have to be strong-minded and soft-hearted. As women, we are too emotional. I mean, we are growing up with all the experiences and the knowledge. And I think that's now we have to be objective. Strong-minded means be objective. Sometimes we are carried away by our emotions, and that can affect our mental well-being. And as my two previous speakers have already said, there are solutions to every problem, not even one. You know, not even one. There are multiple solutions to every problem under the sun. And so seek help and seek help and seek help. Our 3 roles, you know, I said that at every level you need support. And I think I showed the support. The supports are there and the solutions are there. Just open up. Get 1 or 2 people you can trust. Open up and they will help you find solutions, whether career, whether home, whether family issues. You still can have solutions. Then surround yourself with the right people. I think one of the speakers said it. In academia, if you come and you don't get the right people, as I said, I was told every day counts, and that's changed everything. I've lived my career life as if, and tomorrow I'm retiring. And that has helped me to also take advantage of all the opportunities, and that came my way. So surround yourself with right people, both for your family life, and as women, sometimes you can talk. We can talk and go overboard. As I said, we all have the issues. So sometimes you listen to people's issues and realize, oh, so please, let's surround ourselves with people, not the naysayers, not the pull me down people who will help us achieve our aspirations and help us keep our families and of course, be in good mental health. And also learn the art of wisdom. This I learned from one of my books, Today Matters. You know, by John Maxwell, knowing what to ignore. He says the act of wisdom is knowing what to ignore. As ladies, we mind too much. There are certain things we cannot control. On the job, I mean, at the family level, at the home, I mean, the nuclear level. You just cannot control what people will say about you and what people will do or treat you. That you cannot control. So as and when they come, let's just take them in good strides and ignore. That is the art of wisdom. So we can be at peace with ourselves and maintain our mental well-being. Conclusion. Nothing is impossible. And today I listened to 2 wonderful women on joy on love, joy through love this morning, and I was at the Great Hall. I think we are all saying the same thing as women, to break the bias. Nothing is impossible for us women. Let the men do all that they are doing. I've been telling my male friends that if we move on, it is for your good. And we can indeed achieve a balance in playing all these roles. It is possible. So many women in the world and in Ghana have done it. And we can also do it as women in academia. I urge all of us, we have a charge to keep as women. The charge to keep our families, the charge to keep our homes, the charge to, as women in academia, to support academic work, so that we grow and nurture the next generation who are now our students. On that note, I thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Sewa Ando. I believe that we have heard so much. you agree with me that it's time to give attention to a lot of questions that have come. Auntie Kuya Fiye mentioned work on mental health as important for all of us, especially career women. And I remember she mentioned that mental health is much more than the absence of an illness. And anything that interferes with your normal functioning, social, academic, personal, is related to mental health. She mentioned the mental health continuum model, healthy, reacting, injured, ill. And she ended by saying that you have to recognize, respond, and build resilience in order to survive your mental health issues. Professor Olivia did a lot about ensuring a stable mind as a person in academia. Some of the points she raised there are practicing self-awareness, understanding your feelings, going through a personality test. Most of you call it temperament. You have to know who you are, understand your strengths and weaknesses and work at them. Providing a structure for your weaknesses and strengths, leveraging strength progression. That's one of the ways she said you can ensure mental health and stable mind. Managing self, persevering, being self-motivated, learning relationship skills, negotiating conflicts, asking for help, and building partnership. Too powerful. Mrs. Ando looked at balancing career with family life. 3 things I picked from her submission is effective time management, organizing support around yourself, and then being multitasking. And as you go through this, she mentioned that mental health is a game changer for your health, for your happy home, and for success in your career. So you ensure to diet your mind. I mean, that's profound. So we will move on straight to look at some of the questions. Please, if you have questions, you can raise your hand and then we would respond to that. But I want to read a few questions that have come. They will come to the raised hands. Some of the questions that I have written from the chat, somebody just asked, where is the KNUST Wellness Aerobic Center located? I mean, I love this person because it means that you are hooked on getting a mental health situation for yourself. So it is located near the swimming pool, KNUST, just behind the KNUST swimming pool. If you entered into the KNUST compound, you negotiate a runabout, ask for the swimming pool. Just behind it, you find the wellness center. Another question somebody raised, someone says, suggest some ways to handle low self-esteem caused by postpartum depression. Wow. So we'll let Ms. Ekwefri answer to that. She's getting ready. Someone also said, is the syndrome of women being their own enemies a psychological disorder? What a question. We need to have answers to this because it destroys and discourages other young women from climbing the academic ladder. So sad. So is it a mental health disorder? We'll let Auntie Kuya speak to these two and then we'll continue. Yes, right, please.
Okay, thank you. Postpartum depression itself is it's a type of depression, and one of the symptoms of depression is lowered self-esteem. So you see, as you experience that itself is a symptom of the illness. So we need treatment or therapy wholly for that condition, and as you do that, it will resolve. So I think the individual should come to the KNUST Counseling Center. We'll help and work through it with you. Because usually sitting in front of a camera and how do you call it? Just administering treatment regimen doesn't work. You need to know the person's history. And so I'll urge the person to come. We'll work through the depression.
All right, so we will have Auntie Kuya will speak to the second question as well, but Auntie Sewa will also want to contribute when you are done. So is the syndrome of women being their own enemies a mental disorder?
First and foremost, I don't think women are their own enemies. I don't think women are their own enemies. It's human beings. A male can have a male enemy and vice versa. It's people's personality and other things that clash. So what we need to do is support each other more. Conflicts come, how do we resolve them and things like that, as opposed to saying that women are their enemies. Personally, I don't think so. I don't know whether anybody has any contrary view, but these are some of the stereotypes we keep fueling, that prevents women even from going positions, thinking that, oh, if it's a woman, then a woman will not support. No, but we support one another anyway. So
All right, thank you so
I
much.
disagree with that one.
All right, Auntie Sawa, your take on it. And then
Yes,
Auntie
I
Olivia.
was just going to say that I think one of my points, maybe when it was taken out, stay focused. Just stay focused. I mean, as Ipia said, it's human nature. And there was one workshop last year in September by Western, and I was there. Sister was there, Sister Emily, and she was sharing a lot of experiences, even from the convent, being a Catholic. And during break time, I asked her, sister, you see all this among you as reverend sisters? And she said, we are all human beings. So please, it's not so much about us women. It's human nature. I mean, that, as I said, you cannot control. But I'm telling you, I am yet to work with one male admin assistant. I've worked with females, and I've had their more support. It's you. Stay focused. Some of the things we experience, they are so normal. They are not out of the way. Sometimes we get so overwhelmed. They are very normal as far as life is concerned and human nature is concerned. They are very, very normal. The magnitude is stay focused regardless.
So there's no
Don't
disorder.
get distracted.
There's
Because
no
there are
disorder.
lots, yes, there's no disorder. There are lots that, as I said, competing attention. The distractions, they are all there. So please stay focused. The women, we are all out there to support each other.
All right, thank you so much, Auntie Sawa. Auntie Olivia wants to add her voice to it. Yes.
The idea is that society expects women to be very, the word is compassionate. So even when you're doing what is something that is wrong, they expect that the woman should understand the situation. But they've forgotten that we are out in the world and we are competing at the same level with everybody. So if you come in late to work, they expect the one to understand that you've come into work late. But that's not how it works. So I do not support that we are our own enemies. It's not true. We actually help ourselves. We support ourselves in so many ways. So let's change that perception.
All right, thank you very much. I want to read another question. Somebody says, though marriage is a choice, what suggestions can you give to women in academia who feel studies are obstacles to marriage? What impact is this situation likely to have on our mental health? Auntie Vic will help us with that. The head of Counseling Center, KNUST.
Okay. I have enjoyed and I'm still enjoying. So I at least expect I'll be called to answer the question. But studies, I don't think is an obstacle to your development. It's even a way of you becoming a better person as a married woman, a mother, a career person. Of all the presenters that we've heard today, we realize that each of them is talking about we focusing and achieving what we want to achieve through the stages in our career. Learning. And this is why we mentioned reading. If you want to do that, you need to put on that cap of wanting to achieve something, else you will not move up. So I think that it's not a barrier. It shouldn't be a stumbling block. But some people can, by their own way, and what will help them, would wait to settle in marriage, have children before they continue. Others will want to have the education before they settle and
marry and give birth to children. Others will combine. As I sit here, I remember the first day I got my admission to do my MSc. That was the very day I saw I was pregnant.
Wow.
And then I had people saying that, oh, you can't do the program. You should stay away, finish giving birth. Then I said, no, I'm going to do it. And so I gave birth on Tuesday, and I wrote my last MSc paper on the following week, Tuesday. And I was among the first 6 ladies or maids who defended their thesis. So I was even active, and that child is so wonderful. That child is so wonderful. So I think that we can manage. Auntie Sewa mentioned multitasking. It's very important. It's true, women, we are able to do that, and nothing should stop you. Once you plan and you focus that you want to do it, you can achieve it.
Thank you very much. Auntie Olivia, would you add some points to this?
I was going to say self-management is very important.
Mm.
And the counselor has mentioned that if you manage your activities, your self-work, it's very easy to combine. Now, I also use the word easy. It is difficult, but it is doable.
Yes.
It is not easy at all. I'll just give one little example of what I do. Normally, when I have to travel, I'm going to travel for 2 weeks. I have to cook for 2 weeks and make sure that 2 weeks supply of food is there. A man will not do that. But I don't complain about it because unfortunately, society expects us to do that. So self-management is very important.
Thank you so much. Auntie Sawa, do you have anything to add to that? With all your busy life, would you say marriage has become a stumbling block for you?
Oh, no.
Spread the good news.
Not at all. I mean, I have had to handle busy schedules. Being in medical school, being in business school, where virtually are working 7 days. I mean, I used to have 2 of my female academic friends. They had the same cooking, about 6 o'clock, the same cup. But they don't know that at lunchtime, I go and cook. Because I was on campus. So I'll go and cook at lunchtime and come at 3. That's why I could stay at 7. And then on Saturday, Sunday, it's manageable. Affiliations. I was actually working 24/7. Because weekends, Fridays were the times I was traveling, you go and do matriculation and then conjugation. Then you travel back. You want to come back. You get home around 10 p.m. So you can have Sunday. Or if you are sleeping over on Saturday, it means you must come on Sunday. But it worked. A female asked this question.
Yes.
My dear lady, you see, it's time management, sacrifices here and there, setting your priorities right. And you see the priorities, they change as circumstances, based on circumstances. There are times that you have a new way, okay? And then life is normal. There are times, certain stages in life where you need to sacrifice and let go other things. But bottom line, that balance is possible. Many more women have done it. You know, even now we are having small family sizes. Okay, our mothers. Where I am.
11.
You see, so if you are cooking more. I mean, more meals. But now we have smaller family sizes, and even the quantum of food we cook is not as much as our mothers used to. So it's possible.
And
even now we have help.
Yeah.
And the rest.
I remember you also
We
mentioned.
used to grind in Abotoyo, and now we are using blender just by a touch of a button. I mean, you are there. So there are a lot of things to support us.
Yeah, Auntie Sawa, I remember that you mentioned that you there are some of the tasks you would want to delegate, others you want to have done. So balance is also important.
Yes.
Like shopping for yourself, sometimes it's very important. It's a personal thing,
Yes.
you know, wanting to do the shopping yourself, the sizes you want to take, you know, the contour, the kind of the color of the leaves. But there are a lot you can delegate, and so that your life can be balanced and you be happy. Let me read a few comments that we had here. I think they are good to share with others. Someone said, I'm happy you have changed the social definition of women in our society and have become living testimony that all women are born with potentials and that there's no limit to what a woman can do if they keep their minds to it. I think that's very beautiful. What don't you agree with me, Auntie Kia? Yes. There's another one that says balancing the equation on family and career is superb. Thanks for serving as beacon of light in the dark tunnels. Somebody said awesome presentations. Kindly share the slides. Yeah. Someone also said that I'm glad to have practical examples of women who are excelling. Thank you for changing the narrative. I can because you have. We all can because some already have. That's beautiful. There's always the mindset of being a can-do woman, and you will achieve your aim. Someone also said women are special. They go through all these mental challenges, yet they work hard at work and home. Of course, that's our mandate. God be our helper. Somebody said International Women's Day to all of you. They deserve better. As someone also said, Elijah said, as we celebrate women today, how can we help women whose marriages are collapsing because their husbands are having affairs with their close friends? I'm sure we should book you immediately for counseling session so that we can help. Please, we will share our numbers and you come and then we'll talk about this. Okay, so it's a man who asked the question about the marriage in academia. Sorry for taking you to be a woman. And somebody said, please, how would you disabuse the minds of people who think women of high academia have problems with their marital life or their conjugal relationship? Auntie Olivia.
I'll try and respond to that. What I have learned is that if you take your academic life home, you have problems. So I have learned that when I get home, I put everything away and I'm just the person my husband married. I don't take any of my academic things there. I have a lot to do, but I make sure that I carry out all the all the household activities before I sit down and I work. So this means that it's a lot of balancing is important. If you take your academic work home and think that you are a lecturer and everything and you have problems. But I have learned that when I get home, I behave like a house help and I do everything. And when you do that, most of your problems will go away. So that is from my experience. But when I come to work, I know who I am. When I'm at home, I know the person I am. That's what I like.
All right, so by this, Auntie Olivia is saying that when she's home, she's a wife. In summary,
Yes.
And I'm sure that if we know how to play our various roles, diverse roles as the circumstances demand of us, there will be peace around us. And so you are not an administrator when you go home. So are you?
No, I'm not.
Because as you are doing the bunabunu and the contour and you are chewing the nyadoa,
Yes. And
there's
let me
nothing
say
memo
that-
about it.
No, and one thing about me, and it's something I learned from my background. No matter what, I won't buy food outside. I think the only food I buy outside is wachi. But you see, during the lockdown, I learned how to cook wachi. My family, we eat a lot of local foods. Way back in Africa Hall, Pat, if Joy, my childhood friend, very close friend as a sister, is in America. We used to Africa Hall 16, and then I can't girls say, I mean, just to tell you, it's not today, it's my life to eat local foods, and nobody does it better than my family.
Wow.
Yes, so I would say that don't check some of the responsibilities. I mean, when it comes to food, you are a mother and your wife, do it, and you know the food your family likes. And you can do it the way they want it. I also think that you should get them involved in what you do. You tell them, I mean, anytime I handle busy schedules, I tell them, at wages I'm traveling, you should explain this schedule involves this, this schedule involves that, so they know. And if you are going to travel, you discuss it. It's all getting them to be part. I mean, my family knows wherever I've been to, they will definitely know the driver of where I am, because I take the drivers and they will know
because you sometimes you travel, they'll come for 1 week. But in all of this, I think I was talking about break. I've never forgotten my leave. And me, when I'm on leave, I'm not the type that will come to office and work. If I'm on leave, I'm on leave. The work will go on. So we've done all these things and still have taken an annual leave religiously without skipping. When we needed to skip, I mean, even that to stagger and make sure you take some break. So it's who you are. Get the family involved. They are part of it. I mean, none of us has achieved or come to where we are without the support of the family. They also sacrifice a lot. I mean, they sacrifice a lot to support us, so we have come to where we are.
All right, Auntie Olivia adding the small,
From
we
what
give our
Auntie
remarks.
Sarah was saying, letting them know what you are doing is also very important.
Yes.
So my husband knows all my travels, my schedules, when I'll be busy. So when I'm not busy, I make sure that I make up for
Quality
the times I'll
time.
be- Yes.
Quality
So
time.
it is all creating a balance and not acting like you are the boss at home. Women shouldn't do that. I have a friend who's a very top bank manager, but when you see her at home, you won't think that she's a bank manager. And most of the educated women I know, when they create that balance, they have no problems. It's when you take your bossiness home, that is when you have problems.
Thank you so much. It's been so wonderful. Just that our time is almost up. So I will allow our honorable ladies here to give their few remarks in 1 minute each so that we can wrap up and say goodbye to our participants. We will begin with the head of Counseling Center,
Okay.
Auntie Vic.
Okay. Thank you, moderator and the presenters, able presenters. In fact, I have also enjoyed and I've also added more to what I know already. So what I would say to us all is that we need to know that everything is possible. And it takes focus, it takes self-management from the things we have learned today. It shows that it is possible. Yes, we can do it. Yes, we can put away or do away with the bias and move forward. We can focus. And one thing I want us to keep in mind is that the family support is very important. And if you get the family to support you, you need to let them know that you are there for them and let them understand what you do and appreciate what you do. That way, they will support you. And once they are there, you make them feel part of your successes. If things are happening and it's not working well for you, let them know. If things are going well, let them know so that they become part of your life. And I tell you, you can go higher. And for me, now the sky is no more the limit. Beyond it is the limit. So people are already on the moon and they are going beyond it. So why do we say the sky is the limit? We can do it as women. We can achieve. God bless us all.
Thank you. Auntie Sewa.
Thank you. Mrs. Piasa, I just want to say that we are wonderful people as women and we can do it. It's not too difficult. We can do it. Let's have the right frame of mind. Let's commit to what we are doing. Let's have passion for what we are doing. As I said, it's a child to keep. We are the nation builders. Without us, there is no nation. So please, women, everything is possible. Let's apply ourselves to whatever we are doing and do it very, very well. And on that note, since we are blended, my topic is blended career and home, let me congratulate and salute some of my dean assistants at work doing who have now become senior leaders. Adeline, Mrs. Elisa, Amma of business school, you are my pride. You apply yourself to learn and to work hard. And when I see you coming this far, it means we are making impacts. I congratulate all of you and all colleagues, ladies at here University. We are wonderful. Let's keep going. As this you always say, as ladies, let's keep going. So together we support the VC and to achieve her vision and also achieve Kenya University's vision of becoming the best 10 universities.
Thank you so much, Auntie Sewa. Auntie Pia, you have 30 seconds. The rest of 30 seconds. Yeah, 30 seconds.
I just want to say that as women, we are doing so great. We are natural multitasking. And when it gets overwhelming, let's remember the continuum. That if anybody can be anywhere, it does not mean you are crazy, it does not mean you are mad. That's why the counseling center, we are here. We are here for you. Just come, let's just talk, just release some of them. Sometimes just talking to somebody who will listen to you alone is enough.
The gifts of presence.
That's why we are here. So I would finally say that I equal to all the women who are doing such wonderful jobs wherever they are. Thank you.
You are
very much.
magicians. Thank you.
Yeah.
Auntie Olivia.
Women in academia, we have so much potential and everything is possible. So let's carry on, let's strive, and we can achieve a lot. That's all I can say.
All right, thank you so much. Auntie Vic.
Yes, I think we can't end this without also thanking our men. Yes, we thank you because you have also been there for us. You are our friends. You are our partners. You are our colleagues. You are our husbands. You are our sons. Together we are moving on. So let's all support each other. So we thank you because you've been there for us as well. And I want to share the counseling center online for us. It's 050-644-9747. 050-644-9747. I'm sure it would be typed in the chat, so you can pick it. That is the Clear University Counseling Center hotline. You can call us if you have any challenge so that we would support you. We say that asking for help is a sign of courage. God bless you.
All right, so I will use the last minute to read the rest of the chat. People have given very good comments. I think that they deserve to be read out. And so someone said, beautiful answer, Prof. Olivia. Kudos to Prof. I've enjoyed presentation and will continue to enjoy to the very last end, someone said. So someone said, this is an eye-opener presentation. It's an inspirational presentation for me. Please, could you make the recording available? Okay, it can be considered. Someone also said, I wish it would be organized occasionally. Well noted. Another person, Dennis said, very educative presentations. Congrats to all panelists. May God richly bless you all. Richard Kwashi said, a big thank you for this wonderful program. We pray for more in subsequent times. Well-constituted panelists. Well, somebody also said that we should add the men next time. The presentations and contributions are on point. Thank you. Carissa said, bless you for sharing. It's been great. Abigail says, please, can we get the names of the speakers? I shared. I would type them out right now. Someone also said, we need more of this as women. Another, Akosia said, Abby, kindly scroll up the names. Yeah, someone, because I've shared the names already. It's up somewhere. Joy said, I wish we could have these sessions often. Thank you to all the panelists and the moderator for an insightful program. Thank you, Abigail. Abigail says, God bless all speakers for the wonderful presentation. Carissa still says, beautiful women. Thank you for the compliment. Sylvia says, God bless you all, the panelists, for this insightful program. Agnes says, thank you, and God bless you. God bless you too, Aggie. Mary says, God richly bless you women for your wonderful presentations. Eunice says, a great thank you to all presenters. Greetings from Cameroon. Wow, that's amazing. God bless you for tuning in. Someone said, God bless all speakers. Great program. Happy International Women's Day to all women. Rose says, thank you all for this wonderful, inspiring presentation. God bless Almighty. God Almighty bless you all. Bless you too, my dear. Vida says, it's been really good. Thank you, wonderful, beautiful women presenters. Someone said, and Madam Vic, you have spoken well, and I like your haircut. Wow. And the person goes on to say, that's James. Says, Madam Vic, don't forget that we men are not there. There, woman, if we men are not there, you men are also not there. Oh, he added plenty. Oh, we have taken notes. Charity says, very educative program. Happy International Women's Day. You women are phenomenal. Wow, that's a nice compliment. Awoya says the counseling number again, please. We will post them, please. Somebody's typing it up. Sona says, God bless you all. Charity says, God bless you all. And says a lot of love to all of us. Agnes says, okay, someone says, Mr. Piazza, you look beautiful. Why? I think, today's a Women's Day, that's in order. Prof. Sandra says, thanks so much for this presentation. Just want to know if possible to get the slides for the various presentations. So the number is there, 050. No, the number is being, somebody's posting counseling center number. Good. So that is 050-644-9747. Someone said, this is Piazza, great moderation. Thank you, Charity. Someone says, you made my day. You need to be at boss at work. Wow. Yeah, when you are at work, you are the boss. But when you go home, please be a wife. Congratulations to our panelists. God bless you all. Please, we need the slides and recordings and help at home. All right. Okay, so the counseling center number is there for your viewing. Please take it. And as we said, we are at your service. I will end by reading this beautiful quote to wrap up all. A woman who walks with God will always reach her destination. A woman who walks with God will always reach her destination. As a people, we know we are so religious. As a culture, nobody teaches anybody where to find God. It is so ingrained in our lifestyles. We want to say that in addition to all the skills we've shared and all the points that we have deliberated on, do not forget God. He does everything and turns all things around for our good. So in your seeking, seek him. Thank you so much. And God bless you for tuning in. We will come your way definitely again with very powerful programs. So watch out for us. We want to end this session with a word of prayer. And I would nominate my namesake, Auntie Sewa, to do us the honors.
Thank you. Shall we pray? Dear Lord, we can't thank you enough. Today, you made it possible for women across the globe to celebrate each other. We thank you for using us as an instrument of your hand to bless many more in our country and beyond through this program. We thank you that continue to use us to change lives, to build our homes, to build our communities, and to build our institutions in our country, Ghana. Continue to bless us all. What we do, in the end, your name will be glorified. This and many more we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Stay blessed till we meet again.